Well, it's a privilege to be with each one of you. Even though I've joined Zoom meetings many times, this is the first time actually that I'll try to share my screen. So hopefully everything will work well, all the technicalities. Um, but I'm very excited about the church being also excited about this health partner thing because it has been a huge blessing in my life. I actually, a couple years ago, did a training to be a certified health coach. And I worked in my church implementing this, starting a health club, and just coaching church members or being that health partner for church members because we all know and are familiar with like a Bible worker, right? That someone that is there to guide someone else to learn more about the Bible, to study the Bible. And for me, becoming a health partner is like the other side that strengthens the reaching of souls because sometimes can be straight through spiritual things and other times can start with physical needs, but it's very much connected. So what I'm going to share today it's basic principles, and I actually sent an email to brother and elder Roberts with what I will share tonight, so you can share that between the church members. You can print copies, whatever you need, and I'll try to make it as simple as possible so in the time we have together you can visualize how this can be done. And another thing I want to say is it's very important to just start. So let's say this is like how to be a Bible worker, but in the health aspect, you can't be forever like feeling, okay, do I know every single detail about the Bible? Am I really ready to preach and present? Sometimes God gives us little things, and He already is asking us, like if we remember that the men that came running, the um, demoniac men that came to Jesus. And as soon as Jesus healed them, actually, he was like, you need to go back and share what I've done in your life. And I think that's a very important principle that we don't share what we do not know. So we are not going to try to now be doctors or even necessary health educators, as the word sometimes mean, but we're all called to be medical missionaries. We know things that are very basic, like the benefits of exercise, the benefits of drinking water, the benefits of sleeping. So there's basic health principles that we all know. That doesn't mean we do them. And actually, this is the power of being that health partner. Is like we may know that studying the Bible it's a blessing. We may know things about the Bible, but when we gather to have Bible studies and search deeper and are together, we can learn so much more and we can develop and create that strengthening connection and that encouragement that we need now more than ever. Um, so I just will start sharing a little introduction of what this health partner is. And I'm going to try to share my screen. I don't have a PowerPoint presentation, but I have the handouts that you will be able to print. And I just want all of us to see it. So let's open this here. Um, this right here that you're seeing, hopefully in your computers, it's a document that I sent to Brother Elder Roberts. This is what I sent to him. You can print this. It's more like a PDF document, and it has a lot of amazing information that you can use as resources as you work with people. But I'm just going to go briefly over some of the aspects. What is coaching? So as we can see here, coaching starts by giving people our presence, not our expert advice. Some of us may feel like we have some good information, we have some good knowledge depending our background, what we've studied, and it's very valuable, but to be there, to be that partner for someone to coach them, basically meaning to coach someone is to support someone, to be that friend, to be that accountability partner, that encourager. And we're not here to tell them what to do. We're here to support them in their personal journey, especially talking about their health journey. And you'll see that people, when they realize, oh, they're caring for my needs, like I may feel that I need more exercise, I'm overweight, or I may need to learn how to cook healthier so I can, feel better or prevent other diseases or increase my immune system, and someone is here willing to just walk with me in this journey, that already it's very valuable for people. So we are not here to feel the pressure of we need to really accomplish this goals for this person, but it's their journey, and we're here to just support them, encourage them, and suggest things that God has blessed us with. So that's a very important aspect. And as you kind of can see in this other side, Christ's method was really that of mingling with people. And I worked for a couple months with a health coach and Bible worker in Washington State. And it was a blessing because as you mingle with people, I was very used to working wellness centers. So you basically have this program, people come, they join the program, you do things for them, you cook, you do therapies, you give lectures, you basically um, put them in a program and help them to accomplish it. And you're just on the go sometimes, like, okay, you have 1 week, you have 2 weeks, and you're trying to really help them like that. But this other aspect was much more slow in a way, and much more personal, long term. So as we would go to houses, sometimes doing surveys, or they would come for an event like your church, I believe, is doing, like a health expo. You meet people and then you want to keep in touch with them or keep helping them, and not just, okay, we do this and God bless, we'll see you next time we do a lecture or something. But you might offer Bible studies, you might offer, would you like to have a health partner in your health journey? So there's a survey we actually ask when we would knock on doors, that I also send it to the email of Brother Elder Roberts, that has some questions like, do you know anybody in your home that has a chronic disease, diabetes, hypertension, cancer? And do you know someone with that, or do you have any health issues in your life? Have you ever felt stuck with doing changes, or do you feel there's some things you could do to improve your health? Most people say yes. And then you just ask them, would you like or be interested if there was someone with you to help you accomplish your wellness goals? And most people again say, wow, that would be great. And then we have this program we would do it 12 weeks, that you can either choose to do it once a week with a person meeting, or every other week. That would take a little longer time. And that we would just meet with them. So, what did we do in this time we would meet? One of the main things was understand that we're not here to accomplish a program with these people. We're here because we want to understand their needs, we want to help them. So, one day we arrived to this home, and the lady actually had been receiving this support from a health partner, and she was cooking, her kitchen was a mess. And we arrived there, and the health coach that was with me, he was like, wow. She was like, yeah, I'm trying to cook all of these recipes you shared and I need help. So right away, we just dedicated almost an hour was just helping her cook those recipes. And then she wanted to, for all of us to try it. And after that, we just had a small time at the end of all of this cooking and sharing. And in the process, you're definitely sharing. They have questions, you answer, but you're there to mingle with them. You're sympathizing with them, meeting their needs, and their needs sometimes can be a surprise in the moment. You think you come to just sit down and go over the importance of rest, and maybe at that moment they need something else. And so how to be there like a friend would be. That's like one of the key things. And then you walk with them step by step. And that was kind of Christ's method. He was really there more than to just share his sermons. He was there to meet their needs, to show he cared, he sympathized, and then he invited, okay, you can do this, you can follow me, and this is God's better plan in your life. So um, I want to go through the coaching do's and don'ts. And let me see if maybe I will just get this on a different so we can see it better. So what do we do? And I use the word coaching just because it's kind of what we do, but if someone is not certified, we highly encourage church members just call you're a health partner. You're helping with their health journey. So what do you do when you're that health partner? You always want to start that connection with people by asking them how they're doing. Like I said, really caring for their life as a person, as a friend would. Always ask if they're okay with prayer, and you can include that definitely in the time you meet with people. Learn to be a good listener, especially as Adventists, we know so much that it's so hard for us sometimes to just listen because it's like we have so much to share, so much to say, and we kind of already see the whole picture and we want to give all the advice. But sometimes that's not what people need, especially at the beginning. They just need someone to really be a listener. So when you ask questions, listen. And something we encourage is come to the point where you're even comfortable with moments of silence, because we're not there to pile all our health information to people, but we're there to understand really where they're at, really what is a challenge for them, and then just encourage them. So, learning not to interrupt people is very important when we're health partners. So, we can really be of better help. Um, Keep an open and encouraging atmosphere. So, we are not there to, let's say we come to someone and they want to walk more. That's one of their main goals. We're there to walk with them once a week and help them um, get that routine into their weekly habit. And we may be like, they didn't walk this whole week. I came again, and this is so like they failed their goal. I may be not doing my job well as a partner, as a health partner. That's what it was hard for me at the beginning. Like I started working in my church and I had a couple church members that wanted to experience better health. So I said, okay, let's get together. Let's see what are the things you want to work on, and I'll be there to support you, to encourage you, to give you some suggestions or go to your home and help you cook. And um this lady, she was like, I really have problem with sweet things and it's so hard, and I eat, junk food and all of this, and I don't drink water. So I said, well, we're not going to focus on all the bad things. We're going to focus on the good things. And so we're going to focus on including more water. Maybe you need to get a water bottle and then just have it with you closer. So just try to include more water. And all the sodas you like to drink daily, you'll have less room for them if you're drinking more water. So let's not think, okay, I have to eliminate sodas. We know that's not good. Let's focus on the good you want to include. And so the next time we met, she was like, "Oh, I'm still eating sweets and some things." I feel like she was feeling like she was not doing so good in her goals. But instead of being like, "Oh yeah, well, you need to do better," it's very important that we always are there to encourage, like God says, the just man may fall 7 times, but he stands up again. So that has to be our mentality with as we're working with people. Okay, you may be failure, but we're not going to focus on that. We're going to keep focusing where we're headed. We're going to keep focusing on the good things. So she was like, but I've been drinking more water and I actually did not feel the need for so many sodas. Maybe I drank just one because I went to town and that was my, what I was used to buying that. So I was like, that's great, keep it up. So to make long story short, she really eliminated all her sodas, changed her lifestyle, lose weight. They were feeling more energy with her husband, and it was just, and she thinks so much um, that as a health partner, I never judged them in things that they were feeling like bad about. So many times, even we can think on our own experience when we want to do changes. The moment we fail, we hit ourselves like, "Ugh, I cannot do this." Um, and so that doesn't help us. And when we work with people, we need to also have this mentality of encouragement, of uplifting, of just keep moving forward. And if something didn't work, maybe something has to be adjusted in the way we approach this goal we tried to accomplish. So, praise for their efforts, focus on the positive, no matter how little it may be. This is key. So, I'm just continue reading here from the things we should do. And I kind of explain, eliminate judgment, um, because any change, making changes are challenging, and some might do it easier than other. But we're not here to judge each other. We're here to encourage each other. So, as a health partner, these are principles we need to adapt in our life, and as we work with others, it's very important. And I had to learn this myself. I was like, wow, um, this is different. It's a slow process, but after some weeks or months, you look back and you're like, so much was accomplished. And sometimes it's the negative thoughts we tell ourselves or the feeling of frustration we let others feel if we're trying to help them that can be blocks in the way. So, this is all things that also will help motivate a person to keep moving forward. Um, so failures can be lessons. We keep learning. We always have new opportunities. So um, we won't talk about failures, but things that we can keep working on, learning and growing and moving on. So pay attention to things in their environment, family situations, friends that might be changing around them, that might be influencing them in their changes. And instead of asking questions that are more like, so, um, was exercising good for you? Yes or no. If questions are just yes or no, they will end quickly. You just want to ask questions that, tell me more. How was it for you this last week with exercise? Or um, just whenever we're asking a question, we want to hear more their story, um, how is it going for them, and if a person doesn't speak too much, some people may tell a whole story, others may just say, "Well, it was great." Then we can always say like, "Well, tell me more about that. In what ways was it great for you, or what were the things that work best?" And so we just always want to understand better others so we can be of a better partner in their journey. And if sometimes we don't quite understand, we can always reflect back what they're saying. So you mean this is how it was for you, or what you're saying is that it was challenging to find time to fit it in. So, whatever we think they're saying, it's good sometimes to repeat just to make sure we understand their needs. Um, Sometimes you can take notes if you're working with someone just to keep track of your friend that you're trying to help. And especially if you're working with more than one person, you don't want to get confused. Sarah was this and Jane was doing that, and then you mix it up. So if you need reminders, that's good. And definitely if you're working with people, it's great to yourself keep growing in your knowledge in just listening to things, reading things, and studying from God's principles. There's great books like Ministry of Healing, Counsels on Diets and Food, that are great resources that we can study and be more familiar with God's principles on health and be ourselves encouraged in what we're doing. So we can always keep in touch if we want with people through phone calls or email or text until we meet again. But we don't have to make it that we're every day um, necessary, like a daily thing. But if we want to do it, we can. It's more like we are supporting them. This once a week we meet, we see their needs, we encourage them, and then we'll meet again to see how they're doing and what things maybe can be done differently in their health journey. So, certain things that we should not do as we are a health partner for someone is talk too much and not let them express. So, you kind of need to kind of see how the person is, their style, and just match. Have some, I would say, common sense maybe in things that maybe you should share more, but always it's not about our life, but it's about their life and how we can best help them. We're not here to be psychotherapists, counselors, or give our advice as like the recipe for their healing. So, this is something we always need to understand. We're not here to play that role as a health partner. We're just here to support them. We can give suggestions, we can share from our experience or what we've seen that has been a blessing and a help to others, but we're never here to push what we think it's the way. In this way, we put the responsibility in their hands and it's not in our shoulders. And that's why we can do this even if we're not um, certified in a way. We can be a health partner. We can be a Bible worker, even though we may not have the certification. All of us can help someone study their Bible and give them principles on how to go deeper into God's word. The same principle, I would say, it applies to this. We are all called to be health, medical missionaries. And for me, a very simple way to visualize it is be that health partner for someone, even if it's just one person that we are there to encourage, to support in their journey. So never impose your values, your beliefs, even if you think this is the right thing. God gives us a freedom of choice, of will. So we should not be imposing, like, this is what you have to do, because sometimes people need more time. They need to just, it needs to click in their minds that that's what they should adopt in their life. So that's a very important aspect. Never push someone. Let's say this person wanted to walk more and lose weight. That was what they envisioned that they needed help with. So I'm going to come here once a week. We're going to go and walk together. And then we're going to talk about some other principles on health just to be that health partner for them. And so if this person has not walked in a long time, they're really overweight, I'm not going to push them. Okay, we're going to walk 1 mile. We have people that could walk very little, so they started just walking a little bit in their front porch, and we would just, walk with them a little bit, maybe 10 minutes. That was all they could do, and that's okay. We start there, and as people then continue doing it, if they're really invested in that and they feel that's really what they want to do, you will see the improvements. You will see, and then in a few weeks, you will be walking some more and more. And so it's really encouraging to see the progress, but it will be slow many times. So that should not discourage us. God is patient with our journey, and we also can develop patience with others' journeys. So, um, again, It's not about what we want them to do or what we've done in our life, but about what they are needing to work on, and we're there to support them. So basically, this is a summary of things that we're here to do and things that we are not called to do in this role. And so, something that now I want to share briefly with you, I'll kind of give you an example of what were the steps we did with people. So, can everyone see okay now? This my personal health plan.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So there's um, a better, more professional booklet you can buy from this health coach I worked with. He actually designed, and it's like $30 per workbook type of thing that you leave with people, and they just follow their progress and kind of can um, write down every day what they are doing, kind of keeping track. But this is something simple that even here Mark Finlay in his church has used as they do Bible work and health coaching in the community. And this you can print it, it's just a couple pages, and it will work just fine to start. So basically, when a person said, "Yes, I want this help. That's what I need." Okay, then we want to set up an appointment. We want to know who is going to let's say we gather after the health expo all of these names, contact information, and people wanting health partners. Then we can call them, whoever will follow up with them. So let's say we have 5 ladies and 3 gentlemen, and then we encourage generally ladies to be health partners for ladies and gentlemen for gentlemen. It can also be done in groups of 2 for sure. You can be like a couple doing it, and it's actually better many times because it's like more not just one person coming and doing it, but it can be 2 person they're connecting with. So for a church setting, they're not just connecting with one individual, but kind of couple people. That can be a blessing as well. So you kind of can see in your church what are your possibilities and everything like that. But from then, whoever will be following up with this person, you can then call them, contact them, and set up what's a good day and time to meet up for the follow up for the health partner that they want to have. So then we would just go to their home, and they generally were very open, and we would just introduce ourselves and kind of like really connect with them, not just like, okay, we're here, let's get started, but just connect. Again, we want to build that friendship. This is really like friendship evangelism using the 8 laws of health, which is wonderful. So once we connect with them, then we will start with this journey that we want to support them in. So in their wellness journey, we want, and this is more for them than for us. So this will actually stay with them. We can have a copy or take notes if we want to kind of keep track, but it's more their needs where they're just supporting, encouraging, being that accountability partner. And by the way, this can be great for the community, but it can also be great to do it in like between us, because sometimes we also need this accountability partner, this just to have this um, health friend type of thing to help us in our wellness journey. So even between church members, like I would do it with my church members in my church, and then they were like, wow, this is so good to have someone you can, you don't feel alone in your goals. You need to come and then share after a week, like, this is what I accomplished, or this is what is challenging, and you're together in this. It's a huge motivator to grow. So we want to kind of get their wellness vision. So what do you envision if you could imagine your life, the what you desire, what you envision, what is your wellness vision? So people, some quickly, others need some more time to think, word it. And what are some obstacles you are facing? It's very important that we also talk about that. Let's say this person is like, oh, my wellness vision is to feel more energy, to feel more able to do things, lose weight so that I can actually like play with my grandkids some more. And so this was actually a real thing that a lady told us. And then what are your obstacles? And what are things that have hindered you from accomplishing that before? So each person knows what are those things. Can be, well, I just like eating all the time, or I just it's very hard for me to exercise. I just have a lot of pain, so I cannot move. Okay, those are obstacles. So what are some things or one thing that you think could be of help for you? So um, the person may say sometimes they might need more time to think, and we can just give it time. It's okay. Take your time, think. Because this is something that sometimes we just don't take time to even think about this. We just go throughout our days. We keep our same bad habits, same routines. We do not take time to stop and kind of analyze, why do I do certain things? What are really some things I do want to accomplish, but I never get there? So, what are some obstacles? Um, and what would be some things to overcome those obstacles? So, maybe, yeah, I really like eating all the time. Um, Maybe I can not take food to my room when I'm there going to sleep or things like that. That's an example of something that someone may say that would be like an obstacle, that I like to eat all the time. And so maybe that's one thing I can do. So, what is a motivator for you? What is driving you to accomplish this goal? And we kind of can get a hint from what they share. They want to feel better, more energy. They want to play with their grandkids. So they might mention that again. I want to feel better, or I want to be able to do more things with my grandkids. Um, so that's what motivates them to make this change. And do they have a support system? And sometimes family, friends support them, other times they're kind of alone. So that's why being a health partner will be one of their support system. And then after this 12 weeks, what would be your goal? And after like 4 weeks, what do they envision accomplishing? And so we can write it down. We always want to make sure that we stick to just one or two key things. Some people may put a whole long list of things they envision and they want, but we want to summarize it to just one or two things, especially in their goals at the end, because we want to make sure it's something that is attainable, not just like changing the whole life in some weeks. So then, once we got that a little clearer, and sometimes they might need even more time to think, and that's okay. But we just kind of want to get them started in thinking about this and us understanding better where they want to head. Then we generally showed, and I'll show you right here. If you go to YouTube and you put Life and Health, um, Life and Health Ministries, they have really great material that we use all the time as our little health lectures. So we didn't have to say things that are already very well put together. We would just, you can do it from your phone, from a computer. If you don't have internet, you can kind of download it, have it there so you can play it. And we would show first the introduction. So it has introduction to the 8 laws of health. Very well put together video, and this doctor shares like the key points, and it's a great thing to like kind of start bringing this topics to the person, letting them brainstorm about it, see the importance of this simple laws in our life. And it's great as well to see, kind of to also bring some education in the process as we are being that health partner for them. So we would show the introduction, and we would start with water. So those two, they're all of them are basically 5 minutes long. So they're very short, but very like with the key elements in them. So we would start with introduction and water as the first health remedy or law of health. And so then what we generally did is ask them, so what did you think about, what we just watched? So I'll be like, wow, and they would share the key points that impressed them. And then we would talk about water and how are you doing with that aspect in your life. And so now I'm going to show you from the first handout. This one is actually a long one. If you go to the beginning, that explains a little bit more about coaching. You have water, exercise, nutrition, and some recipes, rest, sunlight. You have all the 8 laws of health plus some extra things like our outlook or our attitude in life. We have tobacco cessation, relationships or social interactions. Many people have issues in those areas, or our environment, which is very important as well to educate people on hygiene, organizing things at home. Just it's an aspect that when you work out there, you realize it's important just to cover it. And even though they're not part of the 8 laws of health, are part of the laws of health. And so here if we go to water, which is page 29, it will just help you have a couple questions in mind that you can ask them. So basically, okay, we're almost there. Here kind of reviews some of the benefits of water, symptoms of deficiency, and then key tips. So this is something nice you can always read with them as well, like what to do internally with water or externally, things we can do. And just ask them, okay, is there one of those things you would like to try to implement more in your life, or you feel like you would like to try? So many say they would like to drink some more water after they watch the video and realize how important water is and how dehydration is so like most people are dehydrated and how that can affect your health. Then here is just some questions that you can use. So this is more of awareness from 1 to 10. How would you rate your drinking habits, or where are you right now with your drinking water? And then where would you like to be? And here's like, oh, I would like to drink like a full water bottle a day if I was drinking 2 cups. Okay, that's where you want to be. Then how are you going to do that? So here we want to get very specific. Anything we share about health, be it sunlight, rest, we kind of want to ask them some questions, not for us to know more, but for them to understand where they're at. And then we want to make it very specific, because if we just leave it at like, wow, this was amazing, water is so good, right? They're like, yeah, I need to drink more water. Yes, that would be great. It's so important we drink more water. Well, I'll see you next week. We left it a very key thing with no specific action plan. And this is where we can help a lot as a health partner. So, okay, what exactly would you like to do with your water habits? Okay, I would like to drink more, a whole water bottle. We write it here in our goals. Drink 1 whole bottle a day. So how are you going to do that? When are you going to start? Um, well, I actually need to buy a bottle because I don't have one. And I think I can go tomorrow, get one, and I can start on Wednesday. I'll start on Wednesday. Okay. So they'll start on Wednesday with this. So we know what they're going to do. Tomorrow they're going to go and get their bottle, and then they are going to start. And so this is just to help us make it specific. So here, what's their water goal? Drink that whole bottle every day, and they will start on Wednesday. So we make it clear, and then these are just the goals for each law of health. And here it's week 1. It's going to focus on water. And here every day from now on, they can just write their goal and then check. They can either check or write down how many cups or whatever it's that they wanted to do, just to keep track. It will help them to visualize it, and it will help us next week when we come to see how they did. Because if sometimes someone doesn't keep track, they forgot, we don't really know how they're doing and if that was working or not and how we can help them. So after that, we can just end our time with them and set up whatever is the days. Generally, we would set up a day and time that most weeks at the same time in Word. So for the next week that we went, we just show the next video, which here to follow the order, we have water, then we have exercise. So then when we go to our videos here, we will just show the one on exercise. And I believe should be here. So here, if you go to exercise, we would just play that video with them after we met them next time. But we would always start with sharing a little bit with them. And a great way to share with people, even if their goal was not exercise, exercise is a blessing for everybody. And most people can at least walk.
Hello?
Yes.
I'm sorry. It looked like it was frozen. I wasn't sure.
Okay. Can you hear me well still?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. So we would most of the time meet with a person, say hi, and just go directly for a walk. Even if it was 15 minutes, 30 minutes, just go for a walk in their neighborhood or in a park, wherever we met, and just have some time to share, but also move around. And that blood flowing already starts awakening our brain. Our brain can think better, and then we would come back to their home or the place we were meeting, which can be their home. If they don't feel comfortable, can be in a park or somewhere else, a public place as well. And then we would see, okay, how was it last week for you with your goals? And then we would see how they're doing, check if something needed to be adjusted or it was not working very well for them. And like, oh, I couldn't drink, I forgot. I had my bottle, but I just forgot. So, okay, is there something? And we always want to give them the option first to come with suggestions because we want to empower people, our community, even anybody can be our church members, that all of us can be in charge of our health and we can make decisions. So learning to process, it's very important to give them the responsibility that it's their life, their choices, and we're here just to support and be there in their journey. So that was not working. Is there something you think would help you remember or make it better for you? And some people may say, no, I don't know, it didn't work. That's why you are my health partner, help me out. But I would many times repeat then, Okay. If you had an idea, what could that be? Or if you had to tell someone what they could do, what would that be? So kind of take them out from their experience and see what they would tell someone else if they were in their shoes. And sometimes that helps you think, oh, I would tell them do this and that. So then it's like, okay, would some of those things work for you, or would you like to try? And if they cannot come with anything, then we can think on ideas like, would it be helpful maybe an alarm in your phone to remind you here and there? Or um, there's different things people do. Some people put like little lights in their bottles that actually are shining to kind of remind them, or put little notes here and there where you look often, like drink more water. And so if the person thinks that's something, they're like, oh yeah, I should put a note. Like in my computer, I work there all the time, like drink water. So they will connect with something you say and be like, yeah, I want to try that. So then you know, okay, then for next week, maybe write a couple notes in the areas you're there to remind you. And now we'll watch the next 8 Law of Health exercise. And then after we watch that, we basically go through the same process, read the different suggestions of things we can do, and then see what the person would like to do, and then support them in that. And during that time, as you're walking and sharing, or as the weeks go by, the person really feels connected to you, feels like I have a friend, I have someone to share, to talk, to walk, to improve my health, and they start to feel better. They start to ask more questions during those times. And you can share from personal experiences you've had in your life to spiritual things that they may be intrigued by. And so it's a wonderful opportunity. Many of those contacts start attending church after a while. Many of them are very open to come to other programs that the church does because they have that connection with friends, not just like meetings, or it's very personal. And they really trust afterwards anything else you shared with them. So it's really a privilege. It's really something that, as well, like here we teach it as a class for the students, and some of them actually have started doing this as a practice with their family. And then they're like, wow, I was trying this with my mom or with my brother, or I was trying this with my friend just to practice, but they were so encouraged. This was such a blessing, and they're all excited. So I would encourage you to just try this. Um, I think I don't remember exactly the date for your health expo, but I would say if you all agree, each one of you choose someone that you can be health partner with in your same church or family, and start from now on kind of going over some of these things just to practice. Do it to someone and then they do it to you, and be like health partners together. And it's a great way to realize this is not something complicated, and it's not something scary. It's actually very simple, but it's a huge blessing. It's a huge blessing even between us to just have this. So if I had more time, I would love to like do a demonstration with one of you, like a volunteer, and we could go over this. But because of time, I would like to open just for if there's any questions, to just have like question and answers time, to make sure that hopefully it's clear and simple enough for you to visualize how you can do this. But if something is not clear, I would love to hear from you.
Yes, Debbie, thanks so much for this presentation. The seminar that we are going to be doing is going to be virtual
Okay.
since we do not have the permission to occupy your sanctuary. So people might be coming from many, even might be out of state. So how does this work if a person have to try this from a distance?
Okay, that's a great question. And definitely it's ideal, or it's another level of personal when you are in person and you can do these things together. And you can go to someone's house and help them cook. You can go to someone and walk together. But if it's virtual, definitely it works, like I've been doing now for a year, this being that health partner or health coach with someone. And you can definitely do it through Skype, through like any video call. It's better than with phone, but you can also do it through phone. But if there's people interested, you can definitely do it. Even if they're like this lady I'm working with, she's in Washington State, so we're in opposite side of United States, but we can still schedule a day and a time that works for both, and then we meet every other week, and we can go over this with them. What it would be best is like we can, if sometimes the video showing these videos is not so good through like a video call type of thing, we can send to them, have them watch it, and then we reconnect and speak about it. That's one way that can be done, to share their link and have them watch it. Or if you can do it that it works as you're both connected, that's great as well. And definitely the setting up of goals, the being there to encourage them, you can do it through the phone or Skype or video call. It will be a little less personal. It's not the same, but it's definitely much, much better than nothing. So it can be a great support for someone that is interested in improving their health, but they don't know where to start. They feel alone. They feel they don't have guidance or someone to be there with them. So being that health partner, even if it's through a phone call or a Skype video call, definitely can be very, very helpful.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any
Do you have
other?
any recommendation as far as per visit? How long? I mean, like in Bible studies, we caution that, maybe end up about 1 hour is appropriate. Would you say like you don't want to make these visits kind of too long to?
No, you want to keep them like 50 minutes, more or less. The first one might take a little more time as you're setting up the vision and their obstacles, and then kind of keep it. It's better a little shorter, and then we'll continue next time than too long that it's too much for the person and for you. So 50 minutes up to an hour, it's okay. And if it's short and sweet, it's also okay. Definitely if you're afar and it's through video, you won't have all the walking and all of that. So you can keep it shorter. Even though you'll be amazed how many people just enjoy this so much and they feel they need someone to talk to, that sometimes it's like they just want to share their life, their week, how it went. And you can just guide, like this happens a lot as you are doing this work, unless you have people that are more reserved and more to the point. They feel like finally they have someone to share with. So they will be there just sharing, and that's part of what they need. So you don't need to feel bad, like, okay, we need to get into this. That's what they need. Okay, I'll be here to listen, to encourage you. Sometimes they need more like a Bible study than any health thing. So
Yeah.
use it for that. It's totally okay. And sometimes I've had to have my Bible there and the person is sharing and their struggles and I need to share. Okay, let's go and read some promises, and we just focus on the promises. We pray together, and I leave her like um, a homework type of thing. Like, I want you to ask God to give you a promise that He tells you, and you're gonna, put it on a little note and read it every day. And we also end all the time like, is there one thing, even if it's on emotional, spiritual things, that you want to focus on this week? Sometimes you
Mhm.
need to leave aside all of this booklet in a way, like, okay, we were supposed to have exercise today. Maybe today, no. Maybe today they
Right.
needed some promises and they needed um, just a suggestion to think on like 2 or 3 things they're grateful for and focus on the goodness of God in their life. So that's something that right here you don't have it in this like the 8 laws of health, but with rest we generally like to include thankfulness, like created a
Mhm.
habit, 3 to 5 things daily that you're thankful for. And once they start that, it can be for life, your habit, especially before you go to sleep, to think on 3 blessings or things you're grateful for that day. To We all need this, especially in a turmoil, like in a very busy and stressful world. We need to be reminded of those things. So you just need to ask God wisdom, as that partner for this person, how to be of help in every time you meet, how to be the best help. And sometimes, yeah, you may have to say, well, let's pray about that. And then you can say, now we can talk about, just the Holy Spirit needs to give you discernment
Mhm.
when to say, okay, let's close this part. Let's close with a promise, a prayer. And then
Right.
sometimes I'm
Mhm.
like kind of going back, how was your last week with your goal, and we can just work on one more thing for next week. So depending the circumstance, I may kind of start with this and end with their whole story, or let them talk everything they have to say, and then we can still end with not always just talking about their life, but also being there to help them receive the blessings of God's counsel and advice that will be of benefit to them. So we kind of want to keep moving along, but if one day it was only to listen and pray, that's okay as well.
Right. Right.
Quick question,
Yeah.
Sister Debbie. I don't know if you or others that you're working with are looking for, additional people, new people to work with. But with the pandemic, how has that affected what you're trying to do as a health partner?
So definitely, here at the Lifestyle Center, we actually have been running since June again, and we do have a lot of people coming in person. So we don't have that much time to dedicate so much to the online, but definitely guests or people that go back home, many times they feel they need extra support, because one thing is to be in a
Mhm.
place, in a community, another thing is to be alone. So we do keep in touch through phone calls generally and encourage them in their wellness journey once back at home. But I know of many other lifestyle centers and other people that they have been doing a lot more online, be it doctor consultations, just mental health counseling, and health coaching support for people, because we definitely, there has been a huge increase in online meetings, online support at all levels. So definitely it has increased in a way. But for us right now, and me personally, I just have one client at the moment. I call it client because it's like, yeah, I'm working with her, and actually she has an agency that pays for the services, but with her I have been working and I don't take anymore right now just because I'm very busy with the work here at the Lifestyle Center as well. But definitely there is need, a greater need now even than before.
Okay, thanks. So it sounds like we may find people that might want to do virtual support
Oh yes,
more so than person to person.
yes. Depending, there's people that are very fearful about interacting and getting exposed, so they will definitely choose more of anything that is offered online. There are some that don't really mind, but definitely will be um, something that might work better now more than ever.
Okay. So there is a workbook that goes along with this, right, Sister Debbie? I think you mentioned, right?
Yes, that it's more like professional. It's not just like a handout like this would be here, but
Mhm.
it's more like a book and it has each one of the 8 laws of health. It actually
Mhm.
has hygiene included in it, and a thankfulness log. So we would give it to people if you would like. I'm not sure if I sent you the link, but I can send you the contact information from the person you can buy it from and
I think
mail
Sister
that to
Merlin.
people if they're interested.
Okay. Sister Merlin, I think you got some of those, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
We have them.
Yeah.
Hello, I have a question.
Sure.
Good evening. I don't know if I missed this question or not. Um, but is this a service that's supposed to be provided for free? Is it under the name of ministry? Because I heard you say that um the person's agency was I guess they were paying you. I'm not sure. I just wanted to know, like, if is this something that we're providing for free?
Okay. Good question. So, if you are a health coach, you can charge for your services. You have to be certified to charge for, like, okay, I'm doing coaching, and then people pay for that. If you're not certified, you can put as a price as a church, we will, serve you. And we generally, they're in the church because the church was actually paying for this Bible worker, and he would do both Bible work and health coaching. Um, and then other church members would help, and it was more like on a volunteer basis. So the church was not really covering or they were getting paid for it. It was more like um, different church members had one person they would meet once a week, like for an hour, to just be that health partner. So we had even a lady, 96 years old, and she was a health partner to another lady in that town. And it was a huge, huge blessing. She would just go walk with her and, share the health principles and also study the Bible together with her. And it was just beautiful. So as a health partner, just as a health partner, it's like you would for Bible studies. A Bible worker is paid most of the time, but other church members can give Bible studies and do it more like as a ministry. So for this lady I'm working with, since I'm a certified health coach, her doctor actually wrote the order for that service for her for for the lady I'm working with. And she took that, the doctor's order for health coaching, and her agency that pays for medical things she needs or things like that actually decided that they would accept that and pay for that. So that's why I am paid for it. So definitely if you get certified, you can charge for the services, even though you're doing ministry, but also you can support yourself through it. And depending how much, you know, you also do into marketing and business, you can just connect with people, share what you are doing, and be a blessing to them, and also be supported to continue doing this more full time. But if not, it's more as a ministry. So we would charge as a church for we would say $30 for the manual the person would have. And if you need, you know, you can put, I guess, a little more to cover the cost. Really, the book is basically $30 per workbook. And the church would basically have to decide how they want to do it. But definitely, if you're not certified, you cannot be like, oh, I'm charging for my services
Mhm.
type of thing.
Right.
Oh, and one more question. How much does it charge to become a certified health coach?
So there's different programs, and I actually believe I did not send that last time to Elder Robert, so I can send the link, especially if it's an Adventist online academy. They help you to become certified as a health coach, and the price ranges from 700 to a couple $1,000 for the whole training and certification.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. Is there any more questions before we offer closing prayer and end our meeting?
It says, what's the name of that online course, please? Or that
I will send the link so that Brother Elder Roberts can share it with all of you, if that's okay.
I see Sister Merlin has something in here.
That's the resource for the books. Are you all talking about a course? Which course are you speaking of, Brother Bliss?
no, the online school that she was talking about, where we can get
certified.
certification.
Yeah, I don't have that.
I know IIOM does something. I don't know if that's the same one that she's talking about.
Yeah, this one seems a little different.
Yeah.
So there's many different actually courses out there, but there's the one I took was the non-Adventist, and it was a much more expensive one. Which now looking back, if I knew of this other one, I would have chosen that one instead. So the one I took was Institute for Integrative Nutrition, which was very comprehensive, but many things were off from our beliefs. So you just kind of had to leave that aside and take the good out of it. But it was like $4,000. So, but this other one is much more accessible. This Adventist Christian Alliance, I believe it is. And then I'll send you the exact link so that you can go directly to their site. And I have here a few friends that have been taking that one, and it's very good material, very comprehensive, and also biblically based. And so I believe it's much better.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we are going to wrap it up. We want to thank you so much, Sister Debbie, for taking off from your time to come and share with us this evening. And I would just assume that we still have an open invitation. We hopefully end up by the next time around, we can have it in person where we will be in our sanctuary. We'll be looking forward to getting the permit and move into our sanctuary, hopefully when we are in then. we will have you come and share with the church. A number of people came out today, but we believe that the information is very vital, that each and every one should have the opportunity of being a part of it. So we really end up want to thank you so much for the time this evening.
You're welcome. Thank you for letting me be part, and I really hope that you can kind of envision how to apply it as a church and start practicing in person between yourselves, like with those, because definitely it's a great blessing.
Definitely. Yep. So Elder Munchain, if you're online, would you offer closing prayer for us, please?
Sure, not a problem. Let us bow our heads. Father, once again, we truly thank you for giving us this time that we're able to use the minds that you've given us and learn. And reminds me of heaven, we will be forever learning. But so we thank you, Lord, for this time. I thank you personally for Sister Debbie, who has helped us so far in with the study here. I pray that you will continue to use her, Lord, and bless in a mighty way. We thank you for what you've, the information that you've given her, that she has shared with us. And may the words and the understanding that was talked about this evening be used to glorify you, Father. So we pray that you would just be with us as we plan to put this information to use. Now continue to be with us and keep us until we meet again. And we just thank you in advance for what you're about to do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.